Alrighty, watch geeks. It is Friday, and you know what that means. Time for another Hotness Pick. As you've already seen on the screen, we are welcoming back a couple of old friends, Vostok-Europe and my favorite watch comrade and yours, Craig Hester. This is what I am calling the triple threat, the Vostok-Europe radio room triple threat. As you've seen, we've got three great options. Now, I gave you all the information you needed on the front end of that. For those of you that like to hang out with me while I ramble on about watches, I'm going to give you a quick look at all three, and then we're going to do a detailed review and give you a lot of information that is also on the webpage. There's a very cool story behind this. Craig Hester designed this watch, got Igor Zubovsky to make the watch as a part of the Vostok-Europe line. It is exclusive to Russia to All or the Detente Watch Group, however you prefer it, to Craig. And he's put together a hell of a deal. So for under $200, just under $200, total, that includes shipping, because Craig wanted to make it a deal. He worked with me, reduced the shipping price. So let's just round it off. $200 gets this watch home to you with your choice of a silicone or leather strap, which we'll take a look at as well. So this is the first option. This is the one that is called orange. Okay. Now, great look to this. The only difference is going to be the red one, which we'll get to in a minute. This is a full lume Super Luminova dial, red and black. And see, my friend John won't have to take up a donation for me because I am using a watch pointer, or actually a watch tool is my pointer, and not my big old pen. So he'll be happy. Thank you for the offer to get me the appropriate tools, John. But this is going to be the only option that is done in the black PVD. That's grade A black PVD, and yes, there are different grades of PVD for those of you that do not know. So that is going to be your orange option. Now, if you didn't read at the beginning, I'm not going to give you all the other specs till we get into the deep review, so you can see all three of these very quickly. So this is the orange with kind of a lime green for the Super Luminova dial. Comes on the NATO strap. Let's take a look at the next one. Now, here is the second option in the Vostok-Europe radio room triple threat Hotness Pick. This is obviously the green option. Now, the case plating is different. You can see it is the silver tone of the stainless steel done in a matte finish. Okay, not brush, not high polish, but matte finish. Getting the same light green Super Luminova dial, full lume dial. Okay. Getting obviously the green accents done on the unidirectional rotating bezel, and that is a dodecahedron bezel, a word I only get to use when talking about watches, and that refers to the 12 angles cut into the unidirectional rotating bezel. Okay. It is going to ship to you on the nylon NATO style strap, which let me see if I can just tilt it so you can see. And of course, the orange option that we just looked at will have a black and orange NATO style strap. Of course, you do have an option of picking up a silicone strap, which is just going to be all black. Everybody's seen a black silicone strap. Now, the leather straps, and I forgot to show you the orange. Well, I'll show you that in a second. Here's the green. So you're going to get black leather with the matching green stitching. Okay. I forgot to show you the orange. Let me show you that real quick. Sorry about that. That is, I believe, the orange and not the red. Okay. Now, here's what's important, and this is why you should be a subscriber to the early email notification list. The matching colors, the red, the green, and the orange, are available in limited numbers. When they sell out, Craig is going to go to a leather strap with white stitching. Okay? Just so you'll know. So get your order in quickly. If you have to think about it, think quickly. So this is going to be the green option, and we've got one more, which I'm calling the hot buy or the hotness pick within the hotness pick, and that's going to be the red. Let's take a look at that, and then we'll do a more detailed look at the timepiece. And here's the third option in the Vostok-Europe radio room triple threat, and it's the hotness. It's the hot buy. It's the hotness pick within the hotness pick. It's Sparky's pick. Whatever you want to call it, damn it, it's just hot. This is the red. It looks phenomenal. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with the green, especially if you're an Irish person or a fan of a team with green colors. Orange is great looking too with the black. Black's always very popular, very sexy. But Sparky and I talk, and yes, we do talk. Sometimes he even answers. This is the hotness pick. Now, the dial is going to be different. So besides the implementation of the color red, which you're also going to see cha-ching right there on the NATO style strap, is going to be the loom. This is not a full loom dial. Make sure you scroll down and check out the images that I posted. I posted both loom shots. I can't do it on the video. But what you're going to see is the hands, okay, hour hand, minute hand, GMT hand, as well as the markers being done in blue glowing white superluminova. Okay, so there you go. This is the hotness pick within the hotness pick. Oh, and before I forget, this is, I believe I got the right strap, the red. Now, as long as we're talking about the strap, let me show you something before we jump into the timepiece itself for the more detailed review. You guys have heard me talk about this before. Genuine leather, very supple, very easy to wear. If you decide to go with the leather, notice the stitching. The length of the stitches is uniform. They're in a straight line. There is pretty much an equal distance between each one of the stitches. All the good indications that you are looking for in a high quality leather strap. And Vostok-Europe and Igor don't do anything less than high quality. Now, the watch itself. 46 millimeters in case diameter. We already talked about that. This, for those of you who are new, is how we measure our timepieces. Not this way, okay, but this way, or you can go this way, same way. You've got a 46 millimeter case diameter that's been done on the case, which wears a little larger than what it actually is. You'll notice how thin the bezel is, which gives you a larger dial opening. Visually, that is going to make the watch play larger on the wrist. We already talked about the superluminova. You're either getting the full loom dial or the blue glowing, and by the way, the full loom, both of those you'll notice had the light green, or kind of what a lot of people would incorrectly, by the way, call key lime green maybe, because key lime's not really green. They add food coloring, by the way, just throwing that out there. I am a fountain of useful information, but those green dials are going to glow green. The loom on this, which I already said is the hands, and the hour marker is going to be blue, and in both cases it is superluminova. The movement being used in this, and by the way, if I'm going really quickly on this, and I'm really behind on getting this video done. The movement inside of this is a genuine Russian Vostok, and Vostok, by the way, has no connection, or I shouldn't say no connection, is not the same company as Vostok-Europe. Very different companies. But it is a genuine Russian Vostok 24, 26, 32 joule automatic movement with a GMT. That is this additional hand that you see right here. So you've got 4 hands all setting on the center cannon pinion. GMT stands for Greenwich Mean Time. Basically, it is a secondary time zone. Okay? You're going to use that in conjunction with the bezel or the inner ring, your choice. Now, mentioning the bezel, as I've already said, and I get to say it again, dodecahedron, meaning 12 angles cut into the unidirectional rotating bezel. Great bezel on this, by the way. I believe it's 120 clicks. Do not quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Very smooth operating and no slop. What do I mean by slop? It doesn't wiggle back and forth. Okay, I know that's big with a lot of collectors, and it is a good indicator of the quality of the timepiece that you're buying. Now, the Vostok movement, the 2426, scroll down and check out the images. The NATO strap, I'm not going to mess with showing you the case back. There is a beautiful shot of that movement. It is a black custom rotor with the tuxedo vertical stripes that have been done on that, with the Vostok-Europe logo done in, I am assuming, enamel over top of that. But what's really interesting on this movement that you should know about is that it is only made for Vostok-Europe. So, if you do not have a Russian movement in your collection, or you do not have a 2426 automatic in your collection, the only way you're going to get one is from Vostok-Europe. They don't produce these for other companies. That is something that they have worked out with Vostok-Europe and my buddy Igor over there. Now, it is, by the way, based off of the ETA 2893 movement that's been utilized on that. So great design inspiration. I'm not trying to say they're the same movement, but that is where the design came from. The other thing about the bezel that I want you to notice is the dual tone. Half the bezel in one color, half the bezel in the other. That has to do because of the GMT nature and being able to utilize this hand. So, from 6 over here at the 3 to the 9 o'clock side, which is 18, that is your AM/PM indicator. That's why it's different from here to here. So these are your daylight hours, okay? And then you have your nighttime hours. So very easy to tell. And of course the green is done in the green and the orange is done in the orange. Impact resistant mineral crystal with sapphire coating, so you're getting a little bit of the best of both worlds that have been done on that. And then let's talk about the design inspiration. I love when a watch has a story behind it, and it's a conversation I've had with Craig numerous times, I've had with Igor numerous times, and you know, with Tim Temple, Jim Skelton, and watch vendors aplenty. And that's when a watch has a great story behind it. So the first thing you need to know, and all this information, by the way, is on the page. Either scroll up or scroll down if you ignored it. I put a lot of pictures and some text so you understand it all. But quite basically, this is a Craig Hester design. The Watch Comrade designed this watch. And it is based off of the events that occurred after the HMS Titanic sank. Now, what a lot of you may not know, I mean, if you're a Vostok-Europe fan or a Russia 2All fan or a Craig fan, you may have heard this story. I'll give you the Reader's Digest condensed version. One of the things that caused the high amount of loss of life in regards to the Titanic was the fact that they could not get their distress signal out hardly at all, not effectively at all. And the reason for that is, up until that point, or up until just shortly after the sinking, the radio frequencies on these ships was unregulated, and as I refer to it, is kind of like, for those of you old enough to remember anyway, like a party line, right? Everybody had a party line, right? At some point, didn't you try that? Anyway, meaning everybody and their brother is on the line. There's no respect for who's talking, and it's just a bunch of gibberish. So this comes out in a study/report after the Titanic sank, and laws were enacted in the U.S., which then kind of spread to the rest of the world in 1912, the act that they put forth. And what happened, and it was later updated in, I think, 1927, and that is why you see these, what we kind of refer to as pie wedges, right? 12, 3, 6, and 9. And these encompass, can't talk, as you may notice, 3 minutes each. Now the first go-around, and the reason why these are done in different colors, it's not for decoration, it's for actual purpose. The 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock positions are done differently because what they came out with was 3 minutes at the top and the bottom of every hour of radio silence. So everybody's quiet, and the only people that are supposed to transmit during those 3 minutes each is someone putting out a distress code in Morse code. Okay? Now, as I said, they later upgraded the act, and that's why you see the other ones that have been done here at the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock position, or the 15-minute and 45-minute mark. And those are 3 additional minutes each for distress signals, codes, communications, whatever, in voice or verbal communications. And that has now been adopted, and as far as I know, is still followed today as a law of the sea, so to speak. Now, what's even more cool about this, and if you check out the entire page, like I said, I've got pictures. Vostok, the company that made the movement, the Russian company, and by the way, Vostok-Europe is not Russian. They're in Lithuania, right? So they are part of the European Union, or EU, all of that good stuff. But Vostok, the Russian company that made this Russian movement, made the Russian clocks. And that's where, when Craig kind of saw this whole story and then found out that Vostok made the clocks for the Russian Navy, and then later, you know, other ships and other navies, he knew he had to make this design. And he spent about a year kind of putting it together, finding the right configuration that has been done on this. So great backstory, great design by Craig. So glad that Igor decided to go ahead and make the timepiece. Came out in about 2012 to much fanfare, and was very widely accepted by the watch collecting community. And there's some great new designs on this that'll be out towards the end of the year, I think in time for Christmas. I was got to give a little bit of input on what colors that I like. That's one of the reasons why I like Igor. He at least pretends to listen to me and agree, and then he goes off and does whatever he wants. But it makes me feel good anyway. Weight on this timepiece on the leather strap is going to be about 125 grams, and more or less about the same on the NATO style strap as well. Leather's going to weigh a little bit more. Speaking of that, I put images, scroll down to Sparky's pick. Craig has also agreed to make the bracelets available. One in black IP to go with the green option, and then the matte silver tone of the 316L stainless steel to go with this one, and the the green one and this one, and then the black and the orange option. Now that is there's pictures down there of both, you can check them out. Now that is a 7-piece multi-link bracelet done in solid 316L stainless steel with the end links, and they normally sell on Craig's site for $150 a piece. Okay, now if you decide you want 2 watches, like a silver tone and the orange with the black PVD, you can get both bracelets for that price, $150, or $75 for just the single bracelet in either color. I highly recommend you think about that. And as a matter of fact, I've got to double check the sales page that Craig set up. You can add, so you can get this watch on the NATO, pick the leather option, and see, here's where I'm going to help you out. Pick the leather option as your free option. I think he's going to have an option to pick up the silicone for a slightly additional, I think it's like $12.99, $12.95, something like that. Sorry, I don't, popular contrary belief, I don't work for him, so I can't, you guys during JCK were funny. But pick the leather one because it's more expensive as your free one. Pick up the silicone, and even if it's not being listed there as a separate purchase, just call or email Craig or his great team there at Vostok-Europe, and they'll take care of you. But you could get the NATO, the leather, the silicone, and the bracelet all combined for not much more than what these watches are going for on the NATO, which, by the way, because I did a screenshot, and crap, I can't remember, $349, I think it was. So it's a tremendous savings on this, guys, gals. By the way, yes, ladies, you can wear this watch. No problem at all, okay? Full buckle, 3-ring setup with a buckle, not Velcro on the NATO. That's why I say NATO style. Because many of you, like I said, that you think of NATO and Velcro, and that's not the case. You're getting a full watch buckle, just like the one that you're seeing on the leather strap. Okay, so that's it. This is a phenomenal deal. So, Craig Hester designed Vostok-Europe radio room, 46 millimeters in case diameter. 316L stainless steel, ships to you on a color coordinating NATO style nylon strap with the buckle, and your choice of either the leather or the silicone. And remember, order quickly to get the color coordinated leather, because when the colors sell out, he's going to go to black leather with white stitching, which will still look great. And as a secondary option, he's giving you 50% off on the genuine 7-piece multi-link 316L stainless steel bracelets that were designed for this watch. They fit perfectly. Superluminova Vostok movement, genuine Russian Vostok movement, 24, 26, 32 jewel automatic movement, custom decorated rotor, only available from Vostok to Vostok-Europe, so that's the only way you are going to get these timepieces. You've got the great design with the Titanic story, meaning the radio room pie shapes that have been done on each one of the dials. There you go. That's all I can say. I'm out of here. Thanks for taking a look at this. If I left something out, please leave a comment. And by the way, if you're on YouTube, leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, find me on Facebook, facebook.com/InvictaMike, one word. Yes, I know I don't work for him, but you can't go back and change all that. Great places. I'm on Google+. Just do your searches. If you have any questions, send them via email as well, info@hotnesspicks.com. Check out everything on the page if you're on the sales page, because there's a lot of great information and images as well. Have a great weekend. Grab your watch while you can. Thanks, everybody.